Welcome.
Hi there, everybody. It's Dr. Christine Anderson, and I know it has been a while since you have seen me here. A lot has been going on in my life. Talk about transformations, a little bit to do with health, a little bit to do with lifestyle, and we're going to be talking about both of them today with Carolina Teasdale. So, welcome, Carolina. I'm so glad you could join us today. I met Carolina a couple of weeks ago when I was looking for, in particular, two products, a green juice powder and also protein powders that were not full of toxic things like heavy metals and glyphosate. So I'm going to have Carolina introduce herself very briefly, and then we're going to get right into how to help you transform your health and your lifestyle in 90 days. So in 3 months, you can be a whole new person. So Carolina, take it away.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anderson, for having me today. I'm super excited to share about this ultimate lifestyle transformation that can change your life in as little as 90 days. And I like to say that suffering is optional and everyone is suffering in silence. We're not walking around telling people that we're bloated, that we're gassy, that we have adrenal problems or thyroid problems or hormonal problems, that we're not going to the bathroom multiple times a day, because if we're eating, we have to eliminate. And if we're not eliminating, we're creating more problems inside our body. And there are solutions for everyone to start to feel a little better and have a little shift in awareness that they can feel better, that we are worth to have the vitality that we used to when we were younger. So thank you, Dr. Anderson. I'm so excited for the next few minutes to talk about this program.
Yeah, great. And just a little bit about how
Um,
you found Purium, because I think it's
yes.
very interesting. You yourself are not necessarily a doctor. You didn't start out to be a health coach, but how did you find this sort of shift to lifestyle and health?
Yes, you are correct. I am actually an architect. I always had a dream of designing big things. So I went to art school, I went to architectural school, and I designed massive buildings. I worked on the Broad Museum in downtown LA, the Bell, the big museum next to next to the Disney Concert Hall.
It's
And
both of those are such cool buildings. I love those too. I go out of my way to go past those buildings when I go downtown.
yeah, and when I see you in person, I'll talk to you about the conceptual design idea of having this big veil. But my passion was always to create big things, and I didn't know that creating big things had many other options other than architecture. I just said I'm going to work on massive buildings, over 250,000 square feet minimum. I like designing big things. Little I knew, designing someone's body and someone's feelings and how they could potentially feel in the only house that we have to live the rest of our life, which is our body, could be a lot more rewarding to me. And when I had the little shift of awareness was one day I was working on a building and I was sitting with the engineers, the land use attorneys, all the contractor, all the people that were going to work on this massive building, and everyone was drinking soda, sandwiches, chips, and we're talking about what kind of construction we're going to design this building with, millions and millions of dollars. And I just thought to myself, we're putting the worst building block materials in our body, and we're talking about what building block materials we're going to build this building with. And I just said, I need to have a little bit of I need to bring more value to my colleagues because everyone is making themselves so sick. And I was the girl going to work with all my Tupperwares and all my food and my chopped fruit and veggies. And you're the weird one when you're eating healthy. And that's when I talked to my boyfriend at the time and I said, I want to do something different. And he said, if you were to make a list and do all the things that you wish to do and money wasn't an issue, what would you be doing? And I said, I will be supporting people to eat healthier because I am Italian. I'm Sicilian. I love to cook. I always cook for the whole family. I love to feed people. And this is when I attracted Purium into my life because I had this desire and this passion to support people to feel better with nutrition. And obviously, Purium was introduced to me by my boyfriend at the time. Now it's my current husband. And we have been able to support thousands of people around the world. Me specifically, I've been able to support over 16,000 people with this program that has transformed their lives. And this is not a nutrition program. It's not about deprivation. It's about adding the nutrients that are missing from our everyday diet. And that's a little bit about me. I've been in this journey of health and wellness now for 10 years. And I've been eating healthy, cooking. I actually used to lead massive raw vegan cooking classes here in LA and Venice and downtown LA. I had a lot of different venues and locations when I used to host all my cooking classes. And my goal was to teach people how to have a shot of nutrition through food and to start to renegotiate the relationship that they have with food and how they feel, so they could start to feel good again, because a lot of our gluten sensitivities, food sensitivities, a lot of our bloating, fatigue, it's being linked to toxicity, inflammation, nutrient deficiencies, and all the nutrition, everything that we need to feel good is in our Pachamama, it's in our earth.
Absolutely. I mean, it's our fuel. If we're not fueling our bodies with the best fuel, then we're going to run out of steam. And the other thing people don't realize is that if you're like, oh, I'm always hungry, but you're always downing bags of chips and candy and whatnot, you're going to be hungry because your body is searching for that nutrition. And so it's going to keep being like, you got to eat, you got to eat, you got to eat. But when you feed dense nutrition to your body, it soaks it up like a sponge and you are not hungry all the time. The other thing, I know you're going to touch on this because this is a huge point for me. This is why I was attracted to Purium, is that our food is, oh my gosh, it's toxic, it's dead, it's, what they've done to our soils and our water and what we put on our soils. I mean, go look up biosludge, people. Seriously. What they're putting on crops, you would not want to eat after that. But, so it is so important to know where your food is coming from. And so that's why I shop at farmers markets, because I want to have a relationship with the people who have a relationship with the food. And I can ask them questions. How was it processed? Did they use pesticides? Did they spray? Are they organic? And they will tell you. And then there are certain convenience things that I do want in my life, such as green juice powders, because I love to have the effects of fresh juicing. I have done it, but it is labor intensive, it's time intensive, and rather than just saying I'm not going to juice and forget it, I'd rather do these high quality grass juices that are put into a powder, as long as they're processed properly, which I know you're going to talk about. So, I know I started going down a rabbit hole, but this is the thing, is that you really do need to do some detective work before you put that food in your mouth. If you're eating something processed, you need to delve into how it was processed, the quality of the food being put into that product, and try to minimize the toxicity and maximize the nutrition as much as you can, because it does matter. It really does matter. So I'm sure you agree with me there, Carolina. So before we talk about the program of how you're going to make this transformation in 30 days, maybe you can just speak a little bit to this aspect of what makes Purium, the company, which is a combination of pure and premium, right? What makes them different? Why would you not just go to your health food store or Costco or whatever and buy whatever's on the shelf? It sounds good. They say they're organic. Why would they invest in their health with Purium versus just product X out there?
Yeah, that is a great question. And I'm a lot like you. I used to go to the farmer's market, and I still go to the farmer's market a couple times a week. But like you mentioned, it's not sustainable. And the system is designed for people to fail and be sick. That's why we get exposed to over 80,000 chemicals on a daily basis. From the moment we wake up and we brush our teeth with fluoride, we put makeup with more chemicals and perfume. It's a cocktail of chemicals. And then we wash our laundry with more chemicals, and we wash our dishes with more chemicals, and when we put our hot food on plates that release more chemicals, we are being exposed to chemicals from the sky with chemtrails to the soils with glyphosate, herbicides, Monsanto, Roundup, GMOs, and all these pollution. So in my search to find a company that I could trust, I found Purium, and as you mentioned, Dr. Anderson, Purium stands for Pure and Premium. The founder, Dave Sandoval, actually, he's one of the farmers that lobbied at the city many years ago, and together with his friends, they passed the USDA organic seal. So Purium was organic before organic even existed. And we are committed to purity and potency. And all of our foods are not only grown on high altitude lands, we have farms in Utah where we grow our grasses. Actually, the farm used to be a lake. Over 100 years ago, the lake dried because it's located next to a volcano. When the volcano erupted, it dried the lake, leaving all those minerals in the soils. We have approximately 70 feet of volcanic soils, volcanic ash beds. And on top of that, we calculate we have about 200 feet of topsoil. That's living soil with fungi, nitrogen, good bacteria, all the things that make our food nutritious, because our food is only as nutritious as the soils they're grown on. And most chemical agriculture has dead soils. The soils are so dead that only genetically modified seeds can survive and can thrive in that soil. So how nutritious is those kinds of foods? And Purium grows everything in high nutritious soils. We have mineral spring water on site. And that was one of the questions I used to ask my farmers when I go to the farmer's market. You are organic, but what kind of water are you feeding your crops? Because I don't want to buy those apples with fluoride water on them. And Purium takes care of the water as well. That's taken care of. We test the pollution in the air, the water, and the soil. That to me, it's incredible. Also, every single ingredient gets tested 37 times from seed to package. The other thing that makes Purium incredible, and this is why I decided to use this juice powders instead of using my Nama juicer 3 times a week and washing that juicer and all these parts, it was driving me crazy. It was not sustainable. There's times that there's days that I don't have times to do all the juicing work and go buy the fruits and veg. And my refrigerator was full. It was a complete mess in my kitchen. And what I love about Purium is that we have a proprietary method for dehydration. Everything, fruits and vegetables, get dehydrated at 78 degrees. So most likely it's the temperature in your room right now. Because most companies dehydrate everything within 150 and 250 degrees. And guess what happens if you put a leaf of wheatgrass in an oven at 250 degrees? It destroys the enzymes, it destroys the nutrients, it burns it. It actually becomes a carcinogen. And most supplements out there that you buy at Whole Foods or the Vitamin Shop or any store, they're burnt. In my opinion, they're even carcinogenic. And I don't want to put that stuff into my body. So the dehydration method is incredible. We work with microbiologists in-house that test the purity, and they do identity recognition. They make sure that every single ingredient is raw and living. Everything is grown in regenerative soils. They do regenerative agriculture. It's way beyond organic standards because we test everything. And now with this new appeal thing that they're spraying appeal in all the organic produce, and they're not legally allowed, like they don't have to put the appeal sticker anymore. Before they had to put the appeal sticker, but if you go into the appeal website, Trader Joe's, Costco, Sprouts, there's so many stores that have organic produce with more chemicals on them. So Purium is so committed to purity. As Dr. Anderson said, it's pure and premium. And we don't have fillers, binders, artificial ingredients, synthetic colors. abbreviated ingredients, heavy metals, microparticles of plastic. Believe it or not, the average American eats about a credit card amount of plastic per week.
Yeah, I know, it's disgusting. Well,
yeah.
I mean, this is what attracted me. I do have a dehydrator at home. I do dehydrate my foods at a very low temperature when I do, because I don't want to kill all that goodness. But the other thing that attracted me to Purium is the fact that most protein powders have heavy metals. Now, there's heavy metals naturally in our soils. It's hard to get any product that has zero heavy metals in it, especially when it comes to protein powders. And that's the same with Purium. There's still some heavy metals in there, but we want to try and keep that toxicity level as low as possible. And even though, yes, there are some heavy metals in Purium, they have certificates of analysis so you can see exactly how much of the heavy metals and which ones are in there. But the key being is most companies do not disclose what their sources of heavy metals are and how much are in there. So I use other protein powders before this, and I still will continue to do some. There's one brand in particular, I'm not going to name it, but they don't disclose the levels of heavy metals, but they do address and say our levels are within the values that, the government says they can be in, which I don't get me started on our government and the recommendations like, oh, red dye number whatever is okay, but raw coconut water is not. So don't even get me started with that. So, take that with a grain of salt. But at least they're saying they are aware of that information. But that's a super important thing to look at when you are having your protein powders. And there's certain items like rice tends to collect arsenic. I think that's because of the water that it's grown into. There's something with that. So there's certain foods that will tend to attract certain heavy metals. Chocolate, cacao, that also will have a certain amount of heavy metals in it. I think that's cadmium that one attracts. So just know this in general. And in the state of California, which we reside, there's Prop 65, which has its benefits and detriments because it will let you know that there's heavy metals in the product, but it doesn't tell you how much they are. So in the case of protein powders, really they should all be labeled Prop 65 for California because there will be a certain amount in there. But again, you won't know how much that is. So it doesn't give you all the information. And I think with Carolina, we were talking about this with Prop 65. And you were saying they just label across the board Prop 65 on all the products for California just to be compliant with the law so that they don't get into trouble down the line. It doesn't mean it's full of heavy metals. And you can see that from the certificates of analysis, which I'll show you in a second. I'll share my screen in a second. But any thoughts in addition to that, Carolina, before you go through the ultimate lifestyle transformation? Because I know everybody wants to know about it.
Yeah, definitely. And like you mentioned, we are transparent with everything. That's why you will find every single certificate in this certificate of analysis that most companies don't release because it doesn't help their business. And Purium is 100% clean. Again, as I mentioned, everything is superfood-based, plant power, farm fresh, processed close to source, gently dehydrated, super concentrated. And this is something that is extremely important to me because, like Dr. Anderson said, we need nutrients, not calories. But we are being taught to count calories and not to count nutrients. We got it backwards. And in our company, we're loading our body with super concentrated foods. Everything is based on ancient wisdom. It's backed by modern science. And we also have 60-day money-back guarantee. So this is how much we trust that you're going to get the best foods in the world. And if you think about it, only 10% of the foods in the world are superfoods. But only 1% of that 10% is organic. So what we have here at Purium is 1% of the foods in the world, the best, cleanest superfood nutrition available to everyone in 37 different countries. So why don't we jump into the ultimate
Let's do it. Go for it.
Great. So the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, it's a program that is designed to regenerate our body to a cellular level, to detoxify from all these chemicals, to nourish to a cellular level, and to repair the damage that we have done to our body unconsciously, because we go to the grocery store and we buy all these foods that we think they're good for us. And then we end up finding out years later that they have all these chemicals, and now they're going into lawsuits. I mean, I saw that with a conditioner I used to use many years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, I used that conditioner for years, and it has all these chemicals on it. So this program is so simple. It is not a diet. It is not about deprivation. It's about giving our body superfood nutrition 2 times a day, and then cherry before bed. What we have, it's 5 superfoods, and these 5 superfoods have nourishing greens, healthy fats, it has fiber, it has antioxidants, pre-probiotic, a really good source of protein, and then we have some gentle colon cleanse, so we can start cleaning our colon. So I have the box right here, so it comes in a little box, and this is a 90-day program. Okay, everyone does this for 90 days, and what we have on the box is a lot of very awesome, yummy things, and let me explain to you what's in the box. The first one is a power shake. Before we get started, look at this packaging. It actually feels really good. Dr. Anderson, you'll love this because I know you're into touching and feeling as a chiropractor. So this packaging, it's compostable. It's made out of bamboo, hemp, and tree sap. It decomposes, some of my clients says, within 6 days. We actually have tested the soils with the packaging on it and without the packaging on it, and the soils with the packaging on it are more nutritious. So this is actually a fertilizer. This packaging is incredible. Dave Sandoval founded the Plastic-Free Packaging Alliance, and we're looking for companies to transition to taking care of the environment, because none of us can be healthier than the environment. We can be healthier than the soils, and we can be healthier than the waters. So it's our responsibility to have an impact into our nature. So environmental stewardship, it's one of our core values, and we stand for that. So we are so proud. We saved over 250,000 pounds of plastic from going in the landfill in the last 24 months. That is a huge mission for a company of our size. And the best thing is that there's no microparticles of plastic leaching in our food. Again, purist. And the Power Shake, this tastes delicious. It tastes like appleberry. This is a green juice. It's based on wheatgrass. Wheatgrass is very nutritious. An ounce of wheatgrass has as much nutrients as eating 2 pounds of green vegetables. As I mentioned, it's super concentrated. It also has spirulina, which is nature's multivitamin. It's also an excellent source of protein. And it has a lot of different sprouts. You know sprouts, those little microgreens? Those little leaves have over 40 times more nutrient than a full-grown plant. It's extremely dense, and it's very hard for the average American to eat this much nutrition on an everyday basis, so we made it simple. Put this on a shake. When you order your box, you actually get a little portable blender. It's the cutest thing ever. Let me show it to you. And what you do is that you put 5.5 tablespoons of powder in this little blender. Look how cute it is. You take it everywhere with you. You travel with it. It's charged with a USB. You put your juice, you blend it, you're out the door. Takes 1 minute compared to juicing. And I mix it with water. You can mix it with milk, bananas, cacao. You can make it taste like a dessert. It is delicious. So much cellular nutrition, and every single ingredient is organic. The next thing that we have with the Power Shake, it's biomedic. This is a must staple. Like, this is a staple in my house. I think everyone should have this because this is third-party validated. We have the Detox Project certification. It's medically proven to remove up to 74.5% of the glyphosate from our body. Glyphosate is a toxic herbicide. There's conventional produce and there's organic produce. There's a very big difference why organic is a little bit more expensive, and it's because it doesn't have herbicides, it doesn't have toxins. This removes the toxins within 6 weeks, up to 74.5. It's a lot of life force energy that we get from removing this toxin. I mean, my customers say that as soon as they start to detoxify from glyphosate, they immediately start to have more energy. The brain fog disappears. They wake up earlier. And no wonders, now the body can actually absorb the nutrients. So now we're eating and we're actually nourishing ourselves compared to eating and eliminating like most of us do. So this is incredible. It's also a really great pre and probiotic. We take a little capsule in the morning and another one in the afternoon along with our shake. The next thing that we take is called Super Amino 23s. This is a plant-based protein. It's made out of legumes, and it goes into our muscles in 23 minutes compared to eating meat or soy or any other protein that takes up to 76 hours to be absorbed by the body. This is pre-digested, which means that it skips the digestion process. It's 0 calories, so it never stimulates the digestion to work, and it builds muscle, it burns fat, it creates collagen. The scientist, the doctor that created this, he worked with cancer patients that had stomach cancer, and they were in a coma, laying down in hospital beds, and they were muscle wasting. So he created this protein. It's pharmaceutical graded. It's being used in every hospital. It gets injected in the IV, and people are able to grow muscle without working out. It is incredible because it not only grows muscle, it rebuilds tissue, and there's so much damaged tissue because of inflammation, because of toxins, plastic deposits, and all that stuff that we've been putting in our body through our food. This is the last product that we have in plastic in our company. The reason for that is because it's pharmaceutical graded, and by law, we can't put a pharmaceutical graded on a compostable packaging if it doesn't pass a 2-year test. So we're right at that mark. So in a couple months, you're not going to see this anymore. Okay, it's going to be on a compostable packaging. So this protein, what I love is that it has a nitrogen utilization rate by the body of 99% versus eating other kinds of protein, which the body only absorbs up to 14 or 40% of the nitrogen. So this is a game changer. You know, in order to rebuild and regenerate the gut, we need to give the gut a little break from digesting. If we're eating all day long, we're constantly straining our gut, it never gets a chance to regenerate. So this is amazing because we get all the protein without stressing. And if you don't like taking tablets, no problem. What I like to do, I put the tablets in my blender with my shake. I blend it all together. 1 minute, I'm out the door. Super easy, super convenient. And then the next thing that we take, it's actually my favorite. I put this in ice cream. I put them in pancakes. I take it everywhere. But you're supposed to take it 2 tablespoons before bedtime. You can mix it with a little bit of water, and you can take it straight up. This is called apothe cherry. It's made out of sartar cherries. Sartar cherries is the only superfruit found in nature to have natural occurring melatonin. So this helps us sleep. It's for sleep support. A lot of us are sleeping, but we're not resting. We're sleeping for 10 hours, and we don't even get an hour and a half of deep REM sleep. And a lot of the reasons could be because we're on our phones, exposed to blue light.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on all day about that, and I will certainly talk more about that. But I love this. This is like my sort of dessert at night.
Yeah, it's delicious.
So this is the foundation for the ultimate lifestyle transformation, right? Did you miss?
Actually, we actually have one more. Last thing.
All right, because we've got Carolina. We've got about 7 minutes left.
Yes. Yeah, I'll wrap it up. So this is a source of antioxidants. 2 tablespoons of this has as many antioxidants as eating 6 cups of blueberries. So it's very potent. If you're not eating enough fruit, this might be your solution. And then lastly, we take some herbs to cleanse the colon and also to eliminate parasites. I talk to many people on a weekly basis. Most people say they have 4 to 5 bowel movements a week. That's not enough. That means that food's sitting in the intestines and the gut for too long, and it creates a perfect environment for parasites. So we do a gentle parasite cleanse and a colon cleanse. And that's the program. Superfood nutrition twice a day, cherry before bed. It's a done deal. When you start detoxifying and changing the alkalinity of your body, changing the pH, you're going to start craving the good stuff. So I'll pass it back to you, Dr. Anderson.
Yeah.
And
well, first of all, if anybody out there has a question, you can type it in right now. And while I just kind of briefly sort of summarize everything, because there is a lot of info and there is more, but we've got to just make sure that we don't spend too long. I'm going to share my screen. Maybe. Let me pick all of these. And
when you do
okay, so this is what you'll see on the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. There's different subscriptions. So this is the ULT, which we just went over, Carolina went over. They also have one with collagen as an addition. They've got one with products to support the immune system. They have another one here with products to support performance. And there's also the ability to make a custom Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation if you have a particular health issue that you're working with. Now, we've focused on the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation today, but there are a ton of other products. There's so many. We would be here probably all day going through them. But some fruit and veggies, as well as Aloe Digest, which I love. I got this package here. There's some proteins that will help you with giving you a boost. Two of them do have caffeine in them, the latte and the matcha, but the chai does not have caffeine in it, as far as I know. Tell me if I'm wrong, Carolina. So
you are correct.
Yeah, so
yes.
I've tried the chai. I try to keep away as much as possible from caffeine. So here we could go down. There's all these products, different things that you can look at. So that just quickly goes through that. This is a blog post that Purium did about what you need to know about heavy metals and the certificates of analysis. Here are all the products, or a good majority of them, with the certificates attached. So you can just click on, this is the apothecary, you click on that, and it goes to the certificate of analysis, and you will see here the different heavy metals, what the result is, and how they did that. There's also bacteria and yeast here that you can look at. And then the detox project, there's a website that you can go to. Here's the certified products, and here's Purium right here with the Biome Medic that we talked about, that has things to support your microbiome. And that's it. Let me stop the share. So that gives you a kind of an overview of what is going on there. So we got a thumbs up there for the detox project, which is good. So we have a few minutes left before we end. We have approximately like 1 to 2 minutes. You can always ask me questions later if you want to get started. Carolina, there's some sort of deal. Don't I have like a $50 coupon or something?
Yes. If anybody is interested in purchasing any of the Purium products, make sure that you use the discount code Dr. Chris Cairo, and it's going to automatically give you a $50 discount towards any product on the website. Make sure you load your shopping cart with at least $75 to get $50 off, so you pay $25 in shipping. And if you do purchase the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, which is the big pack that I recommend to everyone to start with, then you get over $120 discount with the discount code Dr. Chris Cairo. So make sure that you use that code or contact directly.
Well, Dr. and also when this broadcast is done, I can put a direct link in there. Actually, I put two, one specifically for the lifestyle transformation, and then another one if you want to get other products. Or you can just contact me and I can help you out as well. But yes. It's Dr. Chris Cairo, right?
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
Don't forget to put that in there if you're doing it on your own.
Yes, or click the link below and then it will take you directly there. And what I love about this program Dr. Anderson, it's the community. It's being around so many like-minded individuals, like you and I attracted to each other.
Yeah.
And so many different people that are fighting for the truth, that want to share the solutions are in nature, and that the best doctors are inside of our body.
And the fact is if you're living it, people are going to notice the transformation and be like, what are you doing? So it's a great, easy product to share because it is easy, it is affordable. You have to eat anyway, so why not make sure it's dense nutrition? And then you're going to cut down on the junk food, which is going to save you money. So, I mean, it's a win-win-win situation, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I wanted to add, if anyone watching this does not have the budget to afford these foods, if you get 3 people that you want to do this with, your product get paid for. So there's an opportunity for everyone to get on the program and transform your life.
But everybody can afford this. Just budget out your junk food and you can do it. So I look forward to seeing everybody transformed. And until next time, have a great week, day, whatever. Thank you, Carolina.
Stay safe. You're so welcome, Dr. Anderson. My pleasure.
Right. Bye.
Bye-bye.